I'm back for my people. We only live one way. That's Monday through Sunday. We only live in one way, man. That's Monday through Sunday, man. I love to come on here and talk some NBA picks with you guys, man. And my guy Tony Mejia as well. Tony, what's up with you, my brother? How you doing over there? Everything cool with you?
Everything is good. We're working on a big NBA week. It's been really solid on my big plays. My 4 or 5% 5 of the last 6. Totals have been good. 8 of the last 10. Props were not good yesterday. I had Jaylen Brown over his points total, and he got in foul trouble early, and they didn't need him. I had Jokic over his points and assists, and he was basically done after the first 8-minute rotation. They didn't need him. So just circumstantial with that stuff. But yeah, seeing the league quite well, getting ready for NFL Week 18. I'm excited about writing the Sunday morning write-up for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, which I did it earlier this year once. I'm doing it again to kill the regular season. So obviously, big Sunday coming up. College football national championship coming up, and both the FCS on Sunday and obviously the FBS on Monday night. So very busy, brother. How about you?
Yeah, everything's going good, man. I'm busy. I mean, it's just every day the same thing with me. Just trying to get some cash, talking some NBA picks, doing these shows. Got about 4 shows to do today. This is my second one, so maybe even 5, man. But let's keep it going. Appreciate my guy Star in the chat, man. He come through every show. I might have 3 shows, and he coming through every one of them, man. I appreciate you every day, my brother. That's some real love right there. But it's all business here, guys. Let's get straight into business here. First game up, we're going to the streets of Indiana here. We got the Pacers laying 1.5 points here at the house versus the Blazers in this one, Tony. Over and under sitting at 237 in this one. Obviously, the Pacers play at a blitzing pace, right? So how you looking at this game, my guy? You think it's going over? You think the Pacers get it done here?
I mean, look, I think that the market thinks it's going over, considering how high that number has gotten. It opened 230. I put it at 230. It opened 231.7. So maybe somebody knows something. Jeremy Grant playing, because that is not official as of the 12:30 injury report, and he's been the Blazers' best player this week. 27 points a game, nearly percent from the field, 47% from 3, playing both sides of the ball. Yusuf Nurkic will be in the mix, but this has gotten too high to play the over for me, and we'll see if Gary Payton II is able to get out there, because he's obviously their best perimeter defender and is working his way back from that injury. But I mean, Indiana, the way that they've been playing of late, with Aaron Nesmith joining that mix, adding another shooter with Nembhard, and Tyrese Halliburton distributing, so they can play outside in. Through Miles Turner, who can also hit the 3. So it's going to be, this is a make or miss game. You know what I'm saying? It's a make or miss league every given night. But yeah, this specifically is one of those games that I know a lot of people that do like the Pacers today. I think it's a short price. And the Blazers are obviously on the road. They're in the middle of a 3-game thing. And so, they go to Toronto next. So, to me, it's an underplay at this point, because you miss the value if you like the over.
Got you. Yeah, the Pacers, man. Like I said, yeah, I'm with you. A lot of people liking them today, man. Now I can't say this is not a reason. So I can't tell you, like, this is a winnable game for the Blazers. So personally, I'm not betting it. What I have written down is I'm only looking at Blazers, or I'm staying off the game. So I understand the Pacers, they could run them off the floor. They play a lot better at the house. They've covered 5 straight games, right? And another good thing that's not good for the Blazers, this is their 10th straight game in a new arena. They had a 6-game road trip. Then they came home for 1 game, Charlotte. Then they went on the road versus Golden State, come back home versus Detroit, then on the road versus Minnesota, now on the road again versus Indiana. So in theory, it's not a great spot for the Blazers. That would say take the Pacers. That's why I'm not on the Blazers here. My problem is the way the Pacers like to run and gun. The Pacers are the better offensive team here. Blazers are probably the better defensive team. Now, if Jeremy Grant is out, they could hurt their defense, but X factor here, in my opinion, is Gary Payton II. This guy is a defensive nightmare for any team. He can literally come in the game, be like but he's taller than Jose Alvarado and bigger. So, I mean, you could put him on Halliburton. You could put him on Hield. You could put him on Benedict Mathurin. Whoever you put him on, he's gonna likely gonna shut them down. So I think Gary Payton II is the X factor here. Like, say if they had Grant out, but they started Gary Payton, I don't know. I'll watch this game, man. It's a really great game. Obviously, with the line, I could see it going either way. What I have written down though is I can only take Blazers. They are 15-5 against the spread last 20 meetings, and 4-1 against the spread last 5 in Indiana, playing so many games in different arenas. That's why I'm staying off this game, guys. So wouldn't talk you off the Pacers here. They've been playing some really good ball, but personally, I wouldn't be surprised if the Blazers did get this win, guys. Let's go over here to the next game here, to the streets of Philly here, guys. We got the Sixers laying 4.5. Tony, they've owned the Bulls of late, beat them 12 straight times. They're 9-1 against the spread, last 10 versus the Bulls. Do you think they keep it going here today without Embiid?
Yeah, I mean, they certainly can. I think Chicago really played over their heads against Brooklyn the other night to end that 12-game winning streak, because they were everywhere defensively. One of their better defensive games that I remember seeing them play, at least over the past month. I mean, they really swarmed well, were consistent throughout. We'll see if Alex Caruso can play tonight, because this is going to end up being a guard-oriented game now with Embiid out. And Tyrese Maxey still not 100% clicking. I think he's getting there, and obviously James Harden is carrying the load. Tobias Harris did a nice job last time out. Philly 11-2 over the last 13, 9-4 covering the numbers. So they're playing well with or without Embiid, but obviously not having Embiid is a major issue in terms of how they play. And another thing with that is you don't have quite the rim protection. This is another game that has been steamed wise, like another 6 points from where it opened. So you missed the value on the over. If you like that there, I could only play this under, and then you hope for maybe some inconsistent shooting from Chicago, which certainly they're capable of. A lot of mid-range from DeRozan, who was real nice the other night, and beating the Nets as well. So look, this is a game where I think Chicago can hang around, but we'll see how disciplined this team is. They've got some vets. Andre Drummond in the mix now, back looking healthier. But Philly's been tough, and we'll see if they can keep it going. I'm not touching this game whatsoever. This could be a situation where Philly wins and Chicago covers. But you hit it on the head in the first intro to this contest. The 76ers have owned it.
Yeah, they've owned it. I think this shit ends today, my guys. Y'all see the background. You see the shirt, too. And I got the pants to match this shirt, too. I got the Bulls uniform on. They've lost 12 straight to the 76ers, guys. Nothing is guaranteed. And you could argue that, you could say, hey, the Sixers have beaten them 12 straight. Just take the Sixers. I disagree, guys. And it's the same season revenge spot as well, where the Bulls only lost by 3. They got down 51-33 in that game, came back to lead it by 9 points, then ended up losing the game, basically like on the Joel Embiid, basically game-winning shot with a few seconds left in there. This Bulls team, I sense something different to them with them, right? Past few years, they'd always get smoked by the top-tier teams. Guess what? This year, they're 8-1 versus the top 4 teams over there in the East, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Heat, and the Nets, guys. So, I like the Bulls here, guys. I took them last night plus the 5. I took them plus 4.5. I like them plus 5, plus 4.5. I sprinkled a little sum on the money line plus 165. I think they end the streak here. No Joel Embiid. If you can't get the job done today, you may not ever get it done. And you know what? I wasn't going to tell people this. I didn't say this on the first show, but we have some last 2-minute reports as well that went for that wasn't supposed to go for the Sixers. So maybe we get another game where the refs are a little bit hard on the Bulls here. I'm on the Bulls here. Top play of the day, plus the 4.5, my guys. It's my only play of the day. A little J Money sprinkle on the money line as well.
Conspiracy
my guys.
J.
Yeah, all that shit, man. I'll bounce back, Jay. All that, man. So let's see what happens. I like the Bulls here today, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans here, Tony. We got the Pelicans getting 4 points at the house versus the Nets. I believe it's starting to go up to 4.5 now. They're still without Zion. They're still without Ingram here. What do you think happens with this one, my guy? You think the Pelicans can get another win over the Nets? They beat them in the first game of the season, my guy.
Well, it's kind of wild that the ESPN pulled the Bulls, the game we just talked about, Bulls Sixers out of this spot to put Nets Pelicans in, and then Zion gets hurt, and we get no Brandon Ingram. But predictably, the other night, New Orleans, in their first game without Zion, responded and dominated that game from start to finish. This is going to be a client play for my people, but for your view, I like the under a lot in this game, especially since it's at 231. I think it's going to be a defensive oriented game, and I think all the fancy of having Kevin Durant, playing as well as he is, Kyrie Irving, same thing. But the Nets have really been great offensively, but also have turned it up defensively, and that's been the
Hmm.
key to that resurgence. To have Nick Claxton protect the paint, to have Ben Simmons, as a premier defender that he is, and he's still not giving you anything on the offensive end. So what New Orleans is certainly going to do, as Willie Green is a really strong defensive minded coach, and so is his staff. You're going to try to make him a shooter. You're gonna play off of him, double somebody else, and force his hand. So that to me is the identity I see this game taking on, and hopefully Larry Nance Jr. plays, because he would add to that. First of all, to the Pelicans' depth, and add to another rim protector, rebounder to the mix. We'll see if TJ Warren plays for the Nets, because if he's out, he's a very offensive minded player, and somebody that has earned Kevin Durant's confidence almost immediately. Both of these teams have been hot, but New Orleans is this is a new uh, version of the Pelicans, and one that we're going to see going forward with Zion out until Brandon Ingram gets back. So big game for New Orleans, obviously, at the final home game before they go on a 5-game road trip with all this new version. This Jose Alvarado led off the bench. You got to play through Valanciunas more in the first 5. And then for Brooklyn, it's a great bounce back spot. So I think on both ends, you'll see defense. I like the under a ton.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off the under, man. I was looking at this. I mean, I don't play totals, and I'll probably never play another total in my life, but I do like the under in this one. The Pelicans, they're good. If they want to stay in this game, they have to do it with defense. I don't expect them to try to run their offense super fluently, because they have a game tomorrow as well, interdivisional game as well, versus the Mavs tomorrow. So first game of back to back. I believe my guy Ski would say that these situations usually go under as well. Tony, I think you're on the right wave here. Of the Nets coming out, they had just won 12 straight games. They got their bubble burst last game, but the refs were basically going against them. And now, when if you went under versus the Bulls, you're definitely probably going to go under in this one versus the Pelicans. Pelicans try to win with defense. They have a ton of defenders to throw at Kyrie Irving, KD. I'm talking about, man, I could go on and on. Najee Marshall, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Jose Alvarado. I know he's a smaller type of guy, but he still comes in and impacts the game defensively, guys. So they got a ton of defenders over there. Offensively, they are still missing Ingram. I know they've been missing him for a while, but they are starting to miss Zion, right? He was a big part of their offense. So really, only ball handlers you got really. CJ McCollum is going to be that main guy with the ball in his hands. I'd lean Nets here. This is a revenge spot as well. They lost first game of the season. That's when they still had the lame duck Nash out there. I do worry about the bubble burst effect. That says when a team wins so many games after that loss, then you kind of sort of exhale a little bit from going balls to the wall. But I'd still lean Nets here, mainly because the Pelicans have a much bigger game on deck tomorrow. If they get down probably 7, 8, 10 points in the fourth quarter, they'll probably go ahead and rest their guys and get ready for tomorrow. Much bigger game as well. So I'd lean Nets, lean under. Didn't make a play on either, my guys, but could definitely understand it. Let's go over here to the streets of Denver here, Tony. We got the Nuggets. They're coming off a Smack City game. They just smoked the Clippers yesterday, man. They were up 82-41 that game, man. Absolute comical. And the Nuggets, I believe they've covered every first quarter spread at the house. So Tony, do we continue to look towards Nuggets in the first quarter here? Obviously, coming off an easy game. We don't know if Garland's going to play. We know that Mitchell's out for sure.
Yeah, Garland's working his way back from that thumb thing, and he's been shooting around. I saw him the other day, their beat writers do a really nice job of giving you that info and showing you the visuals, through video. So he looks very close, but I don't think we see him tonight. And obviously Donovan Mitchell is resting. This could be a really strong Denver spot. Because they've typically played well on the second of back-to-backs, and Denver's gone over. And this is info from the Gold Sheet, which I think we'll talk about later. I write, for the Gold Sheet too, and not the basketball portion, but at this point, you have the over 4-0 in when Denver is on the second night of a back-to-back. So they really stick to their principles of not being a great defensive team, although they were a great defensive team last night, which was an aberration. But you saw Jamal Murray, and he got for that. His defense and his closeouts, which we haven't seen most of the season. He had a great first quarter shooting the ball, but don't lose sight of the fact that that was probably his better defensive performance. And Michael Porter Jr. was actually named the team's defensive player of the game. I saw, and we kind of eye popping because MPJ is pretty much known just as a player. So maybe he's improved, and the bench played well. So maybe keep the good vibes going here. Evan Mobley does come back for Cleveland. But yeah, if Garland sits and you have no Donovan Mitchell, I don't know where you go point of attack wise. Karis LeVert, I guess, might be everybody's DFS player. But look, I think it's Denver or nothing for me.
Tony, I personally think that Garland might come back today. I feel like that's why Mitchell is resting, because they know that Garland's going to come back, and that's just what I think. Because the past couple games he was listed as doubtful. I believe he has like a thumb injury or something like that. So it's all about pain management. Remember, see what I'm saying? So I think Garland actually may have a chance to play. That doesn't mean that I like the Cavs, but I do believe that just like I say, with Mitchell just being out rest, I don't think they would just blatantly rest him if they knew that Garland wouldn't come back. That's just how I look at it, my guys. So, but I didn't make a play on the game. I know Nuggets been red hot at the house. I'm not betting against them. They've been red hot first quarter as well at the house. I know saw my guys in the chat. We always trying to help bring info as well, man. So if you got some stats and stuff, props, post them shits in the chat, man. I'll put them up on the screen. We're all a community here. We're all trying to cash. It's all positive vibes, and it's us against the bookies. You're not competing up against me, guys. You're not betting with me. You're betting with your bookie, guys. So you don't have to compete with me. You dig what I'm saying? We all trying to get some cash here, but yeah, that's a tough game for me staying off that one. Couple more top games here. We'll go over here, Tony. We're going over to the streets of Phoenix here. We got the Suns getting 2.5 points at the house versus the Heat. Over and under sitting at 214 in this one, Tony. How are we looking at this game, my guy?
Yeah, by far the lowest total on the board, and I don't think it's low enough. I mean, we saw the previous game was vintage NBA basketball. Cavs 90, Suns 88. Suns prefer to play this way, especially when you don't have Devin Booker to lean on. You've got Chris Paul to manipulate tempo and control the pace and get guys, their looks and milk the clock and make sure you're, especially with a thin group, make sure you're conserving your energy on offense so you can concentrate on defense. And Miami right now, always one of the better defensive teams. Spo has said before, I don't mind winning games 85-80 and stuff like that. They actually played, I believe, this lowest scoring game of the season to date against Indiana, if memory serves me right. But Tyler Hero doesn't look like he's himself right now. They do have Caleb Martin, who is one of their better defenders, also questionable for tonight. But if he's in, I really like the under here. Bounce back spot for Miami, because to lose to the Lakers against Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook housing you, that is not a good look without LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We'll talk about the Lakers later. Let me not lose sight of that. But this game, to me, I think this is going to be, especially a national TV game where you get those timeouts late, where you can conserve energy. Under for me, and slight lean to Miami, just because I think the Phoenix Suns home court edge doesn't quite play as prevalently without Devin Booker.
Yeah, they're really missing Booker right now. I saw Booker post something on Twitter. Maybe he's pretty close to coming back. I could only look towards the Heat at the first half in this one, guys. This is what I got written down. Suns off the 6-game road trip, obviously. And the Heat off a disappointing loss. Now, this is what I usually like to do. When a team comes off a loss like that versus the Lakers, when no LeBron, they know that they basically let down because of star players out. You usually want to back them the next game. I'm gonna have to start looking deeper into that, like the ATS angles of that, like for the season or whatever. But usually, I mean, I kind of sort of like to call it a fixed game, but not necessarily that it was fixed by the player, but fixed as in they let down. You see what I'm saying? But we know all the money was on the Heat. It opened up at -4, closed at -8.5. No LeBron, we know everybody gonna go hop on the Heat. Then they win. I'd be possibly looking towards the Heat today, and I think there's two ways of looking at it. Fade the team that just won with their star player out, I like teach. We like learning shit here on the show, man. But fade the team that had to start, that won the game, that the star player out, that won the game they weren't supposed to win, and ride the team that lost the game that was supposed to get the win. I think it makes perfect sense, guys. I can only look towards Heat first half, and on the other end as well. Suns coming back home off what 6 game road trip. Usually those teams come out lethargic as well. They hadn't been home since Christmas, guys. They played their Christmas Day game on the road. They've been gone ever since. So Christmas and New Year's. Now they come back home, probably a little celebration regardless of that. I think they could come out lethargic here. My top
Final
play in
game
this
of the
game.
roadie too for Miami.
Yeah, it's their last game, but I look at Heat first half to bounce back. I didn't bet it. I hadn't bet it, but that would be my top play in this game. Couldn't talk you off that under as well, Tony. So last game up here. Let's go to the streets of LA. We got the Lakers getting 2 points. It's up to 2.5 here. LeBron is probable. They're still underdogs, though, Tony. What do you think? You think the Hawks may have went out and partied last night? I was watching DeJounte Murray. He went live for a few seconds. He seemed kind of hyped out. I said I hope he wouldn't drink it. I want to take Hawks here. You worry about them going and party in LA with a day off, right? But they did just get their ass kicked by this team as well. They led by 10 points after the first quarter, led by 14 or 15 points with a couple minutes to go in the first half, Tony. Then they got outscored in the second half by 14 points. And I could also see a letdown by the Lakers. I want to take Hawks here, man. Could you talk me off Hawks or anybody in the chat? You still there, Tony? I think Tony. I guess Tony couldn't.
I was partying myself a little bit, but how the hell did I pass on LeBron PRA on his birthday? You knew he was going to prove something, and so he had a monster game against the Hawks in Atlanta. And LeBron, everybody knows he drinks his wine, but he's pretty responsible and takes care of his body. So I should have been on that. But yeah, that was 130-121 Lakers win in Atlanta. So this is a revenge spot for the Hawks. Get them back for that loss. We'll see how this team handles business. No Clint Capella still, but it hasn't affected them much. The Lakers are actually trying to match to pick up their longest winning streak of the season, having won 3 straight, which started in Atlanta and then featured the win in Charlotte. That line looked too short, so it kept me off that, and obviously the upset of Miami. So we'll see. It sounds strange, but not having Austin Reeves scares me a little bit and might be a feather in your cap if you're riding the Hawks, because that's become the Lakers glue guy. He's the smartest player on the court besides LeBron, typically when he's out there. I mean, like a guy that's always making the right move. And Russell Westbrook, as much of a spark plug as he can be, he's a bonehead out there sometimes, throwing the ball all over the court and whatnot. So it's a situation where Atlanta feeds off turnovers. DeAndre Hunter is playing really well. This is one of those games I'm not going to touch either way. And I would touch the Lakers, except that I think that the line is fishy. I might late in the night decide to take the points. But again, not having Reeves scares me. And then this is the largest total of the night, 242, which you expect right now. But just to let you know, the 244.5 that was put on Atlanta the other night in Sacramento didn't hit. So, 2 of the last 3 games have been over 240 for Atlanta. So they're expecting them to run and gun. Lakers, Friday night at the crypto.com center, maybe they'll run and gun too. So even though the line is high, I would not, immediately jump on that under.
Now, I want to take Hawks here, man. I think I'm going to see how that Bulls game plays out. That's something I've bet so far. I want to take Hawks here, man. It was a little weird, DeJounte Murray going live last night. It was kind of late, too. He was riding the back seat with his girl. Seemed kind of turned up to the music. I'm like, damn, I hope they didn't just go out, man, because he said that he was kind of celebrating, like, where he's been so far in life. But still, I think this was more on Trae Young. I think Trae Young goes off tonight. I'd be looking at some 3-point props for him. I think they try to match that intensity. I think they just know that they lost versus the Lakers. That was an embarrassing loss as well, in my opinion. I think the Hawks get some revenge here, guys. I think this is a spot. And another thing that you want to do as well, when the team comes back off their long road trip and they get the win, you want to fade them the next game, my guys. Here's the letdown spot. LeBron come back in, try to do everything. They're, like you said, going to miss Reeves, going to miss Lonnie Walker as well. Lakers aren't that type of team, in my opinion, to be missing their guards here. So I like the Hawks in this one, guys. You can be on some fan, but I know it's a lot of Lakers fans in the chat. You can bet with your heart if you want, my guys, but you got to see your team through thoroughly. Know when to fade them, know when to back them. I think this is a fade spot for the Lakers. I can only look towards flying with the Hawks in this one, Tony. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Let's talk about some free picks, Tony. Let them know about the gold sheet, my guy. I tried to get the video. They didn't send me the downloadable video here, but I know you guys are running a special promo for the gold sheet. I know it was normally 15 bucks, but you guys are running a promo for the rest of the season, right? Tony, let the people know about that, and let the people know what you like on tonight's card, my brother.
Well, yeah, just in general, the gold sheet is the oldest. It's considered the Bible because
Mm-hmm.
it's been around longer than we've been alive, and it's one of those things where people used to, like the sharpest minds in Vegas, handicappers used to before the internet used to like use their trade secrets and all of that to share information, and it's lasted the test of time. It's part of a wager talk now and sports memo, all of that. Let me see what they're bringing up because just to get everybody the actual offer. It was founded in 1957. So right now, each weekly edition of the football gold sheet is normally $15, but you can get every edition from now until the Super Bowl for I think $19 is what they're doing. If you like what you see, there's early bird price through 2023 for $99. And there's a basketball version of the gold sheet, both college and pro. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I do a bunch of work for the football side of things. The basketball side of things is taken care of, and I'm so busy with football and basketball. We'll see what my future lies. Writing for the basketball portion, I certainly can. I'm disposable to do so. But free play wise, I like, and there's a lot of great matchups today, Jay. We talked about a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of them. There's some really bad ones too. There is Washington and Oklahoma City, no Bradley Beal, and I think the worst one is the one I'm going to give my free play out on. It's Detroit visiting San Antonio. The Pistons have shown some fight of late, and I'm not just talking about slapping Mo Wagner about the head and having the entire Magic team half suspended, leaving the floor the other night. But Detroit, I think they got some fight to them. Responded nicely, or as nicely as you can, to Cunningham being lost for the season. Isaiah Stewart gets in everybody's face and won't back down from anybody. Didn't against Draymond Green the other night, got him suspended or thrown out, I should say. And then you had Bay hit the three. And is there going to be a hangover from that? I mean, on paper you say so, but they won in Minnesota, San Antonio, no Darius Vassell. So I like the Pistons to continue their road rambling tour and getting a point. I think they went outright at the AT&T Center. Spurs coming home off of getting playing well in New York after getting blitzed to start the new year in Brooklyn. So don't like the spot for the Spurs. I do like the spot for the Pistons. Let's ride with Detroit.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off there as well, my guys. Only one play for me. I'm rocking with the Bulls plus the 4.5. Also, plus the 4.5. Also, think it's worth the sprinkle on the money line. I fully believe the Bulls in their 12-game losing streak to the Philadelphia 76ers. If you don't like it, you don't have to play it. That's what I'm rocking with. I'd also heavily lean to Heat in the first half and the Hawks full game. I believe the Hawks will go out there and cash the trifecta spot. To be honest with you, Bulls as well, guys. So I always say, go with what you know. Go with your gut, man. Bet whatever you like. If you ride with me, let's cash. If you don't like it, you don't have to play it, guys. I'm rocking with the Bulls Nation today, guys. Let's end the streak. This shit ends today. They getting a win tonight, my guys. You can't win today versus Sixers. You'll never win. So I'll rock with it. You guys don't have to play it. Let's get some cash, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Still got shirts as well, man. Us Against the Bookies, man. It's the realest saying ever. I always say, you're not betting against me, guys. You don't have to compete against me. You're betting whoever you're placing your bets with. You see what I'm saying? That's whoever you're competing with. I know me. I'm trying to smack these bookies up. 50% off shirts over there at the site. Use promo code We Will Win, my guys. Let's get some cash. And you know why that's the promo code? Because we will win, guys. We out, man. Let's cash. If you want breakdowns of every single NBA game, check out the early show. We went deep dive into every single game, guys. Let's get this cash, man. We out.